Welcome back to another episode. I'm your host, Tamera and Traci. Today, we're going to focus on women in business. But first, if you like my content, you're really going to love my escrow team. So let's get a conversation going about your title needs. You can reach out to me on all of my social media platforms. Today's guest is Traci Miller. She's the owner of the Terramania shop in downtown Salina. We have had a relationship now for a little while.
Yes.
And supporting one another. So I wanted to have her on the show so that not only she could talk about her fabulous shop in downtown Salina, but she could also talk about what it's like to start a small woman-owned business. So welcome to the show today, Traci.
Oh, thanks, Tamera. Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited that you're here. You're getting to be more and more of a staple in the real estate world too now.
I am. I'm loving all these new friends we're making.
So I usually like to just kind of jump right in and get started. Okay.
Yeah.
The first question I have for you is what made you decide to open Terramania, and why downtown Salina?
Okay. So I have a little bit of a story.
Sure.
So, one, I kind of can back up. I've always loved to entertain. So entertaining, hosting parties has always kind of been my background. And then, but really during 2020 is when I was furloughed. So that was kind of really the birth of Terramania.
A lot of people pivoted in 2020.
Yes. So I did go back to work, but 3 months I was at home. So during that time, I just kind of was like, all right, what if they never have us back? What am I going to do? I love being busy. So, and just using that creative outlet. So during that time, I looked at my house because we were always hosting parties, and I was like, what is it about my home that people love so much, that makes them feel warm and welcome and when they come in? And I noticed I use a lot of earth tone colors throughout my house.
Yeah,
so
same.
Very earthy, very textury. And so I came up with Terramania. Terra means of the earth, mania, crazy about. So,
love it. I didn't actually know the name or the reason why the title was.
And now
what
it makes sense, right?
Yeah,
when you walk in.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So just got that name registered. Andrew was like, let's just do that first.
And Andrew's your husband.
Andrew's my husband. And
he's also a staple around the shop too.
Yes. So we love having him in there. So he's got a lot of house work wives.
Yes, he does.
Yes.
So tell me why you chose downtown Salina.
Okay. So I chose downtown Salina. One, because of the people.
Okay. Yeah.
The people. So when I first got started, I did shows out of my house. I knew how to give a party. So that was my first way, like out of the gate. Hey, I'm going to invite people, come over and shop. I took down all my home decor and invited people to come over and shop.
Okay. That's a great way to get started.
And so I knew my friends' husbands would be like, you can't go to Traci's anymore. You got to meet strangers. So I knew I needed to meet strangers. And one of the ways was doing pop-ups.
Oh, yes.
And so in the meantime, over COVID, Andrew's parents had moved to Salina. They lived in Arkansas and landed in Salina. And one Friday night market, they were walking around and noticed they do have Friday night markets where I could do a pop-up.
Now, let's clarify Friday night markets.
Yes.
Okay, so Salina's, it's a farmer's market,
It's kind of like a farmer's market. Yes,
Yeah.
There's a lot of local people that have honey and homemade goods, and then people that make things and crafters. And it's the first Friday of every month.
Yep, and most of the year, not all year,
like March through November.
November. Okay, I love that. Because most of them are at like 8 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning.
So it's Friday night. It's Friday night.
So that's my favorite part about Friday night market. But anyway, I didn't mean to derail. I just wanted them to understand what Salina Friday night market is if you're not in Salina.
So during that time, they were like, hey, I had been doing them in Frisco and I'm doing them in McKinney and didn't know about Salina. So our first one out of the gate was totally different from all the other pop-ups. The people there just were so friendly. I mean, they came up to us and were like, hey, can we, I mean, because it takes us 2 hours to unload.
I can imagine. Yeah.
All my things. And people were like, can we help you? Can we help you unload? Can we help you load back up? And then just during the event, the pop-ups itself, the Friday night market, it really was like a flashback to the 80s for me. Kids were running around barefooted. It was just this carefree, like something's different about this town. And I was like, this is where I kind of felt this pull towards. I didn't know where and I knew I was going to open a store. I just didn't know where. But then there was just signs everywhere. It was like Salina, Salina, Salina. Met Alexis, another sign, right?
So Alexis is the executive director of the Salina EDC. She's fabulous.
She's fabulous.
We're big fans of Alexis.
Yes, she pulled us in and we met with her and she started to tell us about the growth of Salina and we were like,
blown away.
What? Yeah. But so during that time, I was like, I don't know how I'm going to get to Salina. There's nothing for sale, especially on the downtown square in Salina. But
wait, when was this?
So this was 20 was when I have a really cool backstory too.
Okay.
So 20 is when Terramania was kind of born.
Okay.
And June of 21
is when you found or
is
looking for
when
space.
I actually quit my job. I went in June 1st, gave them a 30-day notice. So June 30th of 21 was my last day at work. I didn't know where I was going, but I knew I was going to go be in Salina. I was like, I'm going.
Okay.
And so during that time, God's like, I prayed about it. He was like, if you quit, I'm going to show you where. And I had walked in. It was Cherry's Antiquables before me. Cherry and Larry were the little older couple. They owned antiques and they owned that building and they've been there for 21 years. I had walked in and I was like, I love this space.
It's a beautiful space.
It's a beautiful space. You couldn't see the space for all the antiques, but I knew that's where I was going to be. So I had a friend who was a realtor too. She said, write him a letter. Write him a letter and tell him your dreams.
Yeah. I love that. Okay. So buyers write love letters sometimes too. They're not supposed to, but they do when they want to express to a seller how much they want a house. So that is a perfect thing to do. She was not wrong.
Yes. So, and I happened to be published. I mean, there's so many crazy things that happened during this time, but I happened to be published in a Fort Worth magazine. This lady in Fort Worth had a little magazine and she had been following me on Instagram for years. And she saw that I started this business. And, so she came out to one of my home shows and did an article and took pictures and published it. So I was able to send them like, I'm legit. Like, this is what I want to do. And so we hired a broker. Mm-hmm. She took it to them and explained what I wanted to do. And at first he was like, no, maybe in a year. I was like, I don't have a year. Mm-hmm. Like, I just quit my job. And so we were like, how about, that was in July of 21. And we were like, how about till the end of December? Would that work for you? And he said, yes. So we gave him 6 months because I knew he needed 6 months to move 21 years of antiques out. So
he didn't retire. He moved his shop somewhere else.
Yeah. You know what? He actually had a booth in the Frisco Mercantile. So he opened up a few more booths there.
I feel like I know that name. I don't.
I know. Cherry and Larry.
Yeah. I
cute
moved
little couple.
to Salina in November 2018. But I think the only time I really spent in downtown was like going to Tender.
Right. And you know what? They were not open a whole lot just because health reasons and things like that. So it was a miracle that they were even open the weekend that I went.
Okay.
That I could see it. And I didn't introduce myself or anything. I just walked around and left. Wrote a letter. Okay. And then Dorothy took him our letter and then convinced him like, this is going to be good for you and for her. And so he said yes. So literally 2 weeks after I quit, I was signing a letter of intention.
Oh, very cool.
Yep. So we gave us 6 weeks. And then in January of 22, we got our keys. It took us 6 months to bring everything up to code, redecorate it. And then my soft opening, the reason I told you that date was 1 year to the date that I left work.
Oh,
so June 30th of 22 was my soft opening, and June 30th of 21 was the day I left.
Because we just celebrated the 1 year.
1 year anniversary.
Yes.
So it's kind of like, wow, we just been open a year now. But
there's a lot of God moments and all of that.
3 years in the making.
Okay.
So when you look back, you don't really realize how long it took us to get to where we are today.
Well, I know from some of the other places that are trying to open the Italian market, they've been stalled out several times and delayed.
That's an old building, and that's that empty. So I'm sure there were a lot of
things that they had to do. I've heard that they've had construction issues. But what I really like about after talking with Alexis, we've had a lot of conversations, it is extremely important to keep the charm of the downtown area. So there is some revitalization that's going on, but I love the fact that it's always going to kind of stay
that hometown feel.
Hometown feel.
Yeah.
So why don't you explain the Terramania concept? Okay. Like, what is the concept of Terramania?
Okay.
What do you have in there?
Yes.
Lots of fun things. I have a lot of that in my house now,
yes,
by the way.
I really do. Yes. I really do have a little bit of everything. When you walk in and you've never been in before, it can feel a little overwhelming, but really the concept is, it's really an experience and it's really a feeling you get. I wanted people to feel like they were walking into my home. A feeling of warmth, a feeling of acceptance, just this cozy atmosphere and that washes over you. It does from the time you start outside with the music. The smell inside is just, we have a great candle line from Spain. And as soon as people walk in, they're like,
oh, I just walk in the door and I stand there like towards the front and I just look around for a little bit and take it all in. I'm like, oh, I never saw that before.
So,
and let's open this.
Yes,
okay,
I brought you a little something.
Yeah, thank you very much for my hostess gift.
Yes.
But I think this is a really good time to bring this out because we're talking about the concept. And so we want people to get a feel of what it's like in your store. And I think this is a really good example. Thank you very much for this, by the way.
Yes.
But this is a really
fun and cozy.
Can we see it?
You're like, which way do I
turn the microphone? This is a really good example of a beautiful vase. You have a lot of vases.
We have a lot of vases. And people can also bring their own vase from home too.
Because you have a lot of these.
We call them dried botanicals.
Okay, that's what I was going to say.
It's our 12-foot botanical bar, which Andrew built.
Oh, he did?
He did. He did. It's out of old pine flooring from a lumber yard. We went and handpicked and he put it together for me. Because when I got started in my house, when I was doing home shows, my dining room became the botanical bar. So from the time people came into my house, the entryway, the dining room, the kitchen, the mantle to outside, people could shop from.
Okay.
So my dining room was the little makeshift botanical bar. So I learned a lot there. So I knew I needed a bigger table than just a 8-foot or 6-foot dining room table. So Andrew built me a.
So you have the botanical bar.
And it's the heartbeat. That's the middle of the store.
Yes. And then towards the back, you have an area where people can help have little parties and make things. And you
have
can
little workshops.
BYOB and bring some apps and sit back there. I've done a client event back there before. We'll do some more. So tell us about those projects. How that works.
Yes. So, in the store, and I used to teach art a long time ago. So this is a little bit of part of me back there.
Okay.
So before I had kids, I taught art. And so I thought it'd be really great to have a section in the store where we have workshops. So they have ranged from different artists coming in, teaching their trade, and then us teaching different things. We've done wreath workshops. And like for you, we did, you had your ladies come in.
They did this. They made this.
We set out a bunch of little bud vases back there and a bunch of different little botanicals. And y'all had so much fun because they got to do it themselves. We guided them and they got to do it themselves. Where at the bar, it's usually
you doing
it's
it.
us doing it.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't. They're like, oh, I don't want
Right. We need that professional touch sometimes.
But it's fun too for people to kind of to do their own thing. So back there, usually like once a month, it's flipping to something. We have walk-in workshops. Like this summer, we did decorated rocks. And these things were crazy looking when they left.
Isn't that so interesting?
They painted them and they decorated them with all the botanicals. And like, it was like the whole little city when they were walking out of there. It's been a lot of fun from ages like 10, teenagers, moms, adults, just, and the fun part, the adults can BYOB and just hang back out at the back as long as they want.
And then at Christmas time last year, you had some Christmas ornaments too.
Yes. We did that. We called them like little boho ornaments. You could walk in anytime. You didn't need an appointment and just sit down. The tables back there, there's 2 of them and they sit 8 each. So you can get quite a few people around there. So when other people are walking in, you can just join the group. But we'll probably do that one again. And then after Christmas, everybody had so much fun. We just called them boho dream catchers.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, let's just keep it going. So it's been fun to see all the different little things that have popped up back there.
Well, and I think that's one of the things that makes you special is that your shop is designed for people to come in and be interactive. It's not just shop, buy something and leave. It's how do you have an experience there as well.
Yes. And I love that.
So let's talk about, okay, so you've been open for a year.
Yes.
And I'm sure that you have faced some challenges along the way.
Mm-hmm.
And made some adjustments, right? So I'm always a big challenge solution kind of person. Do you want to talk about any roadblocks that you've experienced, like trying to grow your business?
Yeah, just trying to grow your business alone. It's a lot. It's a lot. I would think the biggest thing, just because Salina is a new little area, it's growing rapidly. But just now the homes are like people's homes are being finished. So I would say our biggest hurdle was just people knowing that we were in the square. We were open. People kind of got used to that end down on the square because Cherry's, it was hardly open. And so they just got so used to it just kind of being dead down
not
there.
Even going by there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So just letting people know, like, we put the music out. We have the doors open and live plants out there, and just how else do we get the foot traffic in? So,
well, and I don't know if it's recent for you, but it's recent to me seeing it is you're doing a lot more videos. And Lauren, little Lauren over there with her honeysuckle boutique, she does a lot of videos too.
Yes.
And so how has social media exposure helped?
Oh my gosh. I'm so thankful for social media. I do several stories. I do kind of like a series story every night and then post every day. And then I'm posting on different formats too, like the public ones, all about Salina, the best of Salina, Prosper and Salina moms. It's a lot of posting.
It's a lot of posting.
It's a lot of posting, but it does. People come in and they're like, I always ask, hey, how did you hear about us?
Good. I'm glad you're asking that question.
Hey, how did you find us? Sometimes just people, I'm just walking around, or they'll say, I saw something on Facebook.
There you
saw
go.
A friend post something on you on Facebook. Or, hey, it popped up. I'm also on Yelp. Like I Googled scented candles in the area, and boop, your store popped up. So I'm like, okay. So the word is getting out, word of mouth. So now that we've been there, it's picking up.
And I talk to realtors all the time. We have conversations about the power of video on social media. It's hard to get people, we're still not there yet, my clients were just, I texted one of my clients, I'm not going to say her name. But I said, hey, will you come and be a guest on my podcast? And she texted back, that sounds so scary. No way. And I said, but it's not scary. And you have to be, look, here's the thing. I always say this. You have to be consistent, which you are consistent. You're posting all of the time.
Yes.
Video is important. You can't just put it, and look, if people put words that long on, I scroll right past. I am not reading all that. So, and you have to be a show. Well, you have to be a show and tell. Because people have to understand what's in your store, and featuring items that are in your store on videos, what's going to drive them in there. Because they're like, oh my God, I want that.
Especially in decorating. Like we have all kinds of decor, home decor. And so they love to know, like, how would I use this? Name one or two ways. And so when I show an item, I'm always like, okay, this would look great on a mantle. This would look great on a coffee table.
A demonstration video is a really good idea.
So
I think that's a really good idea. Look, I come in and so you have their fur placemats. Is that what they are?
They're rabbit pelts.
Yes. And I'm like, I need 10 of those. But they're so impractical, but they're so fabulous all at the same time. Yes. And then, the way that the dining room table is set up. So you have those, and then you have some other, a lot of zhuzh, we call it zhuzh going on. Going on. But that table looks amazing to me.
It does. And we were just in Salina Lifestyle magazine with it.
Oh,
so, Barbara and them did a little series on it. But I love using quirky things that are not what they're supposed to use for. And I'm like, I'm like, this is a placemat.
And I'm a Texas girl, so I love a good hide. Okay. I've got lots of hides in my house, and you can be a hater if you want.
We love the hides, the furs. We got all kinds of furry things, lamb skins, and just goat fur all over the place. And that's what makes it so warm and cozy.
Yeah.
And it's not a feminine place. It's a masculine. The men even love it when they come in.
I can see that.
Because the black box color, it's a nice cocooning warm color, and then you got all the layers and lots of wood. So that's my main thing. When people are like, it's so cozy in here. Why? And then when I explain it, they're like, oh, and I'm like, if you want your home to feel cozy, add some woods, add some earth tones.
Well, while we're talking about what's in the store, I think this is a good time to bring out, because you brought your gift boxes. So you put these together. Initially, the idea was closing gifts for realtors, but it's kind of morphed into just general gift
boxes for anybody.
It can be for anybody.
For anybody. So yes, I'm going to kind of slide it around and then move my mic.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see. I might have to adjust a little bit there. Okay, yes. So the initial was like, let's hone in on realtors because y'all are in constant need of closing gifts. And so we came up with 2 different price points. We have can y'all hear me? $100 box and a $200 box.
Yeah.
And just for different clients. And then these are all things that we sell in the shop. So we have everything. One of the favorite ones is when we put there our glasses.
Yeah, I told you to bring one of the best sellers.
Yep. So this is our glass. Can y'all see that? Do I need to move? So we have all kinds of different glasses. We have especially we have a whiskey bourbon book. So people sometimes make custom boxes and we walk around and pair things in the store. Another funsy in the box is a set of tea towels. We have all kinds, waffle ones, different colors.
I know I have the waffle.
Patterns.
Did you get the plum waffle towels?
The plum one's not in, but it's coming. We have the camel color, and then we have a new set of taupe and kind of knit color ones.
Okay, I'm gonna.
She's like, I need to make a note.
I know because I love those. Those, I mean, are lovely kitchen towels. And look,
we ran out.
I'm picky about my kitchen towels because I want them to look great, but I also want them to actually absorb water
and we cannot
and not push it around.
Stock. I was like, man, the waffle ones have been great.
Yes, I have 2. I need more, but I'm waiting for the new color to come in.
I'll call you. And then it's also fun. We have a little spice and spice, jam, mustards, and sauce line in the store, and the men really love that too. And on Saturdays, we open those up and have a little tasting in the workshop area. But it's fun to put one of those in the box too, because everybody tries something new, and they all come with a little QR code. Hey, this is how I'd use it. Here's recipes. So it's fun.
Well, and that line of, you don't have it in the box, but that line of hand soap, hand lotion.
That's another one that we use. Very popular.
Big fan. I have the eucalyptus one, and I love it.
There's sage and there's bergamot.
Well, and I like those smells because they're neutral smells. They're not they're not perfumey.
Right.
It would appeal to men and women. Yeah.
It's got that it's a natural smell. And I have a thing for spoons. So
very cool.
Little spoons, you can use it for whatever. We have all kinds of spoons in the store, from horn spoons, long cocktail spoons.
Yeah, I've got some
ceramic
of those
pottery spoons,
trays and stuff. And then you have
cute.
the horn salad.
Yes, tongs. There's so many things you can choose from in the box. But we love our little woods. And then I always pop it in with some kind of earthy thing.
Yeah.
Little mushroom, or you could pick out a botanical. We have all kinds of little eucalyptus leaves or something you can pop in there for color. And then our favorite little touch that we also put in the box is our little welcome home note. It's from me saying welcome home. And then they bring this back in, they get 20% off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a nice presentation when they get this gift. It's all fun. But we have some pre-made for grab and go. So, because I know super busy, but then some people love coming in. They're like, we want to make a custom one. And I'm like, let's go.
Yeah.
So we have fun doing that too.
Well, we talked about this. You could put a bottle of wine in there. This
box and the big box too. You can slip a bottle of wine. We've had all kinds of things come in the store. Someone just brought a bottle of tequila in.
Yeah.
That was fun. We're like, this game just got upped. Yeah. So it's been fun.
No, I think it's great. And I think the special events are really good. I'm sure that has helped drive customers in that hadn't been in before. So for example, let's back up a second. You decided to do a realtor event.
Yes.
You created these boxes and you had them all around the store so that realtors could buy them as closing gifts. Like I said, it kind of catapulted into something else. But between the realtor event and your 1-year anniversary, plus all of the interactive events that you have in the back of the store to make things, plus people, you have the botanical bar. I mean, Lisa brought in some fake plants and said, she was like, I'm going to pick out vases and I need y'all to make them look pretty.
Yeah. I went to Lisa's house. Actually, I call it, I make house calls. So she was like, just come over and help me do a little zhuzhing, help me with my vignettes. And then she said, I have these faux plants, but I don't like the thing they came in. But I can't put a real plant here because it'll die.
Yeah.
I'm like, bring those in. Let's put it in a real pot. Like, let's make it look like it's real. And we put a little Spanish moss around it, and boom,
we were having the event, and your people are in the back putting them together. I'm all nosy. I went walking back there. What
people
y'all
love
doing?
peeking in the back. They do. They're like, it's forbidden. They're like, what's back here?
Yeah.
We make some good sales back there.
I mean, someone walked in and was like, is all of this for sale? And I'm like, I'm pretty sure.
Christmas is back in there now, and people are like,
oh
my gosh, what is that? And I'm like,
okay, I'm making a note of that. Christmas is in.
And Christmas is starting to trickle in.
Okay, so before we wrap up, we're going to run out of time here, but I wanted to see the last thing I wanted to ask you is, do you have any advice for women wanting to open a business?
Yeah, that's a loaded question.
I'm sure there's a lot to unpack there, but just a couple of things.
My thing is, I am not a one woman show. That is for sure. As a woman, we carry so many roles as wife, mother, friends, family, business. So it does take a village. It started with the dream, and then Andrew was my number one support getting started. I mean, because this takes up 24/7 of your day.
Yeah.
There is no I'm taking quote unquote a vacation.
Yeah.
You're in it. This is do or die. And so for me, having that spouse on board, I mean, it makes all the difference.
I'm sure.
So he's 100% behind me from day one. And then I have a wonderful tribe.
You do.
I have they're there now running the store. I don't have to worry. And God has blessed me with those girls. 2 of those girls I worked with in previous job, and they followed me.
Oh, great.
Mm-hmm. And one of them is my sister. And then the other 2 girls, Lark is a little high school girl, and she knocked on my door as I was setting up. Are you hiring?
Aw.
Yeah. And I was like, do I hire a high school girl? Are they going to work? Y'all, Lark, this girl, she started with me when she was 16. She's 17 now. And boy, she's a wizard at that botanical bar.
Okay.
She loves working. And then Leah was my last hire, and she came to us, and I always tell her she's an angel that fell out of the sky. Like, where did you come from? So this team has just, I couldn't do without them. Leah actually came to me. We also do a subscription box.
Okay.
And that's quarterly. That's a gift for you. The gift boxes is to give somebody else, but a subscription box is a theme box that we put together. Comes out June. September 1st is our next release. It's an autumn box.
Okay.
And then in December. But Leah came to me. She's just like, hey, are y'all hiring? I was like, no, not at this time. And then she came back. She's like, hey, have you heard of our subscription box? And I was like, no. She said, you would be great at this. It comes out. So she described this whole idea to us. And then Andrew was like, she's hired. I don't know how we're going to, but just yes.
Yeah. Well, and I think that is important to be around people that
I'm
have ideas, creatively think, know how to help you grow your business, right?
Yes.
We've talked about a lot of ideas too of things, so.
You have been great. You're like, do this, do that. I want to have this. You're like one of my biggest cheerleaders too.
Happy to be that.
Small business support. So I love that.
So if I heard what you said, support a family.
Yeah.
And have your tribe of people that are going to help you take care of the store and take care of what you've built.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I know.
It's great. Well, Traci, I'm so thankful that you came on the show with me today.
Oh my gosh, I'm so happy.
I can't wait to see this episode. And so always an amazing guest, great partner. Thank you very much for everything you do. And so that's another episode. Thank you again for joining us. I'm your host, Tamera Gady. If you like my content, you're really going to love my escrow team. So let's get a conversation going about your title needs, and you guys make it a great day.